Hello, race fans. This is Larry Supermouth Huffman, AMA Hall of Fame announcer, and this isn't Supercross. It's Wednesday! And you're watching Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian. Stand by while the boys teach secrets of bay bass fishing with Roman on his 6-second nitro-burning pedal drive kayak, and Brian in his Cool Baits high-speed dragster boat that he takes out every Sunday. Be there!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fishy Hour. This is Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian. Brian, how's it going today?
It is going great. How are you, Roman?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. We got that by the skin of our teeth tonight, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Pros, right?
Exactly. Wow.
What is up? Oh, I got a quick question I stole on here. Okay. I'm going to go right off the bat here. So let me see here. Marvin, I think, asked this. Spinning Rod Rebel Marvin. He says, new Lexa TW400HS, Tranks 400, or Fathom LP 400. Marvin, my advice. Go to the store and hold each one of those. All three of those are very good. I own two of those. I own the Lexa, and I also own the Tranks, both good reels. Don't own that Pid Fathom, but I've held that thing, and it feels enormous, Roman, like for a 400 size reel. So my advice is go to that store. I think all three of those are legit reels. Just figure out which one feels best in your hand, and sometimes, you know, one looks like it's a little blingier than the other. So go to the store and check them out. That's my advice.
Very nice, very nice. All right, starting off the show, we're gonna give the first comment to Oscar636. Nice job, Oscar. Let's go. Yo. And then we'll give the first like to Spinning Rod Rebel Marvin. Dude, thanks, Marvin. Good done. Welcome to the show, Peter. Cal. What's up, Cal? Cave Dog in the house. I see Todd, TV Metal Art, Carl Black. What's up, Carl? Let's go. Leonard in the house. Spotty at best. Welcome back. Mr. Salty Dangler renewing his subscription to the Mad Max Fishing Clubhouse. Let's go. Thank you, Salty. Let's see. We got Submission Fishing Co. Muto in the house. What up, Muto? Welcome back. Marco Wave Investing. What's up, Marco? Welcome to the show. I was like, Marco Wave Investing. It's like your whole resume on there. What's up? See Samurai in the house. Let's go. Kevin Nakata in the house. Let's go, Kevin.
Kevin.
I see Stephen Gage. Welcome back, Stephen. What's up, Zach Riggs in the house? Let's go, Artie.
What's up, Zachary?
I see Oscar. I see Coach. What up, Coach? Welcome back, Coach Worf in the house. Sound Fishing in the house. What is it called? Sound in the City. Sound Fishing. All right.
Old school, dude.
Very cool. All right. Well.
Let me go over the show. So if you guys are new, this is Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian. This is where we discuss bay fishing. We do talk about all types of fishing, but mainly this show is about bay fishing. And tonight, I'm going to tell you what our show is about real quick. So we got some quick announcements to go through at the beginning here.
Wait, it's Hyder. What up, Hyder? Let's go.
Hyder. All right. You're not working right now? He's probably working and listening or driving or something. Hyder's a guy that's always in motion. He's always. I doubt he ever sits down. So tonight we got a few announcements. Going to do some show and tell of some cool stuff I picked up from TB Metal Art. TB Metal Art has finished a small project for me. Can't wait to show it to you guys. Adobo has put together some really cool stats. He spent a lot of time on this. I'm going to go ahead and share those with you guys about last Spotty Bowl. Pretty interesting stats about the fish caught. Tonight's main topic is fish memory. Some of the questions we're answering. Do fish have a memory, Roman? Some people think that it's like 30 seconds, maybe. Like fish are stupid, they don't remember anything. But
goldfish 5 seconds, something like that, yeah.
I have read through many scientific reports. I have been spending all week reading, and I've came up with some answers to some of these questions. Do bass remember being caught, for instance, Roman? I'm going to try to answer that tonight with some science behind it. Do bass remember lures? I'm going to try to answer that. Here's a cool one too. This one had a lot of research on it. What do bass do once they're released at a weigh-in tournament? Where do they go? Do they go back to where they were?
That's cool.
They stay right where they're at. So
that's a good one.
That's tonight's main topic, bass memory. PB shout-outs. We got a huge. I think this might be the biggest PB shout-out I've ever done. I mean, it is grown, guys. Thanks for everybody that participated and sent me a photo. So we got a big PB shout-out tonight. And tonight, as promised from last week, I'm going to review my top 3 Jean-Claude Van Damme movies just for fun.
Sure. Nice.
See if you agree.
Did you actually see them?
Yeah, of course I've seen them.
Nice. I started
Maybe when they came out in the theater, but I still remember them.
I watched the first episode of the Boba Fett series. It's over, right? It's done for now, right? Yeah.
I've watched the finale.
I
actually watched the finale when I was sleeping in my truck.
Okay. Really?
Before the turn. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Came out
it's
like
been a while.
That week, I guess.
I'm way behind then.
Yeah, there's not many. I think there's only 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah, there's 7.
It goes super quick.
All right, cool. I just watched episode 1. It's pretty good.
Heck yeah, it's good. You like Star Wars.
Yeah.
All right, so shout outs. What are we going to do next? Drinks?
Yep, Pop Top.
Pop Top.
There we go. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell me the best Pop Top you ever heard in your life, 1 being the worst. Rate this Pop Top.
Pop Top. LaCroix. Sparkling water. I'm a pretty boring guy.
Can you tap your mic? Not the mic.
You hear it?
Yeah, but it's not. You're not using the good mic.
Oh no! Let me switch. Does my sound terrible, guys?
A little bit, a little terrible.
Oh, you pop your Pop Top all.
Because on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me the best. Yeah. Show me Brian's scores first. Let's go. Show Brian's score, and then after you do Brian's score, do what you're drinking tonight, so we can separate the scores, and I can get an idea of how many alcoholics we have in the crowd. Oh, just kidding. Best Van Damme movie is Street Fighter? What? That's pretty good.
I didn't make my top 3.
Pretty good.
How's my mic now? Is that better?
2.75. Tap on it. Go ahead. Nope, still not working.
Guys, normally we have an audio-video breakdown, but we skipped that. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Here you go. Here's my Pop Top. It's like a anticlimactic. There you go. And that's how you pop this top. It's got water.
Bam. Okay, you ready? Is this it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Dang, on the fly, dude. I have 3 different mics on the fly. Nice job, Roman. 8.8.
Let's go.
8.65.
Oh, 9. 7%.
7.7.
Okay. What's
up, Zachary Riggs?
I like it.
Man, that means I got robbed of my Pop Top. Redo.
What up, Justin? Welcome. There you go. Now it's loud.
What's up, Leonard? Go Bake Creepers. All right. So announcements, Roman. I'm going to make this announcement again because it's coming up March 26th, guys. MMFC. We're heading up north. We're going to Newport Harbor. New waters for some of us. Pretty new for me. I've only fished there a handful of times. So Newport, we're going to try some new waters up there March 26th. Mark your calendar. We got some pretty big interest in it. I expect probably at least 10 to 15 people.
From San Diego?
Yeah, and then we're gonna meet up hopefully with some local guides up there. I think we got like 3 local guides that are gonna meet up there too.
If you guys are in Newport, sound off in the chat, and if you're gonna meet us out there, it'd be kind of cool, just so I can get an idea of who's going. Very cool.
That's right. Yeah, that's right, Zach. Newport's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be, it's always fun fishing new waters, I think. And up there, the spotties I think are pretty big. Like I said, I saw a 2.9 pounder caught up there, which is a unicorn, dude. That's huge. So I've seen, I have a visual proof, and it was on a scale that there's big guys up there. So let's get up there. And I know some big sand bass are up there too.
Yeah. I see Captain Dan here. What up, Captain Dan? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling better.
Dario, you're busy on the 26th. No, all right. So next announcement. This weekend coming up, we have the Pacific Coast Sports Fishing Show up in the Orange County Fairgrounds at the event center there on the 18th through 20th. So if you guys are interested in going to one of those like Fred Hall big shows, we got one coming this weekend. Pacific Coast Sports Fishing Show. Roman, are you going?
I don't know. I should. What day is it?
It's 18th through 20th, which I think is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Oh yeah. Is this like a Fred Hall alternative or like a Fred Hall? They
also have the Fred Hall in Long Beach this year.
Okay.
as far as I know, there's none in San Diego. I have heard nothing about a San Diego event. I think it was canceled. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not positive on that.
Oh, Michael
so I've heard nothing about San Diego.
Michael Trent says, my home water. Hope to meet you in March. Very cool. Nice, Michael.
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Michael.
That's awesome.
Michael, if you in our MMFC Discord and outings, that's where we've been kind of discussing what we're going to do. And Michael, I'll be talking to you locals to find out what's the best place to launch.
Roy's going to PCS Friday. He says, anyone else? Okay, there you go. No San Diego show this year. Maybe next year, guys. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was canceled. So you got this one. I think the Pacific Coast might be the biggest one of that between that and the Fred Hall. I know the Pacific Coast is a pretty big show. It's Orange County Fairgrounds. Have you ever been to that? It's huge. They could go huge there. See, Samurai's going to be up there Friday. So if you guys are up there Friday, it sounds like a few of you guys are going to be up there.
Are you going to be manning a booth, Kevin, or are you going to be just chilling, walking around?
My guess is he's cruising. That guy just stops from booth to booths and works for people. I'm sure he knows everybody up there.
Nice.
So that is the updates on upcoming shows. Roman, I didn't get to ask you this prior. Do we have any updates on the rods? Are they in yet?
Oh, they're not in yet, but they're in production.
In production. Do we have any kind of details or anything on them yet?
No, they're in production. He told me 2 weeks. But when we announced them, the next day I told him I'm good for 20. So he should have started them, but when I announced them, I said maybe 3 weeks. So I hope they're done sooner than later. But he did tell me he was starting them the next day after we had the first episode where we mentioned them. So it'll be so I think we're on our second week waiting. So it could be the end of the week or it could be next week. But I'm not 100% sure.
Are you halfway sold out yet?
We are. No, we're not halfway sold. Actually, I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. But we still have some rods. We think we have like 8 left. So
okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to get one, better get on there.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. It was exclamation point shop. The rods we're talking about, guys. We had custom rods made by Seeker. Three of each. Three of the same rod. One for me, one for Kevin, and one for Brian. And we took those same specs and we added the Mad Max Fishing Club branding and logo and a little bit of highlights as far as the color goes. It's a mostly black rod with green accents to match our logo, and it's our first official Mad Max Fishing Club rod, and it's like ideal for like throwing poppers on tuna, taking it on charter boats. All the specs are on the site. If you go to shop.romancastro.com or if you just type exclamation point shop or exclamation point rod, actually I think it's rod, Leonard. Exclamation point rod will give you that link. It's got all the specs, the length, the power, the guides, and all that stuff is in that post. And you'll see the actual graphic that's going to be along the top of the spine of the rod. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Those Seeker rods are good. I have bought a Seeker rod when I was 19, and I still have it, and it's still a nice rod. So they may be expensive, but man, those are high quality, really nice rods. So
yeah, and these rods aren't they're not made to be distributed in stores. You're not gonna find this setup at a store. These are for baitcaster style reels, like 400, 500 tranks, or what is it? What are you rocking?
The Daiwa Lexa 400. That's what I have on mine.
So it's a baitcaster style rod, and it's a heavy duty baitcaster style rod. So it has like the trigger. It feels great in the hands. So you'll like it. What up, Tyler? Let's go, Peter. What's up, Peter? Welcome.
Jeff, Cool Tuna, are you gonna have a booth up there this weekend? Are guys gonna be able to go up there and say hi to you? That's One Cool Tuna. Jeff makes some awesome irons, awesome jigs.
Also, Jeff makes the One Cool Tuna makes the line numbers, like stickers for your rods. So you can put what size line you threw on there, so it's not.
Yep.
So you have to remember what line you put on there like a year later. 6 months
Yep.
later.
Exactly.
Very cool. Yeah, and actually, you know what? One Cold Tuna is going to become we're going to become an affiliate of their shop. So we'll be dropping an affiliate link for their website in the affiliate section of the Discord soon. It just means that if you guys want to order something from One Cold Tuna, I'll get a little bit of a kickback for the referral. So welcome, Jeff and One Cold Tuna to the club, to the affiliate program. Very, very excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, and thank you for Jeff. Always comes to our MFC outings, hangs out at the events. Thank you, Jeff, for being a great member of our club.
Very cool.
Yes, I will be at the M&M Rods and Peace at PCS. Yes, he'll be there.
Cool.
So stop by that booth and say hi to Jeff, guys.
Also, the rods that we're getting are also great for throwing irons and that kind of stuff. So do check them out.
Perfect.
All right, let's do this.
Show and tell, Roman. Okay, so I went up this week. And if you guys don't know who TV Metal Arts is, Todd. Hopefully he's in there right now. I didn't see him in there, but I went up to Todd's house and picked up some stuff. He gave me something for the club. So this is something that Todd gifted to our club, which is going to be one day. Me and Roman will figure out a way to hand this out, but this will be like an award or something. So thank you, Todd. It's a Mad Mac Fishing Club. He gave us 2 of them. I got one back here, and both that were donated to the club. So somebody someday is going to win this somehow. Something. Do I hear a trivia night? No. Do I hear something? So thank you, Todd, for donating those. So I've had Todd working on a project for me, and it's unbelievably awesome. You guys know that I work at Disneyland. They haul me up there like 20 times a year to give them advice and help them out with the parks and do some art. So I love being at Disneyland. So Todd made me this.
Nice.
Do you know what this is, Roman?
So it's the Disneyland sign from actually there?
It's like it's the entrance. It's like the vintage entrance Disneyland sign, like from the old days, like when you used to drive up there and drive into the parking lot.
Yeah.
They had a huge sign that look. Can you see the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I love it. Everybody that's seen this thing is like, oh my gosh, I want one. Todd has told me he will never make another one.
Oh damn.
It was so hard to make. If you guys could feel this, it's like, I don't know, it's like all glossy and it's got like a shine and glitter to it. I'm gonna hold it close so you guys can see it. But thank you, Todd. I love it. I'm gonna hang this thing inside my house. I'm gonna enjoy it for the rest of my life.
Above his restroom.
Todd has officially kicked me out of TV Metal Arts. Everything I send him is like a difficult project between this and the mailbox.
You're cut off. No more.
I've been cut off. But thank you, Todd. It's beautiful. I love it.
That's good.
Yes. So Todd does do other things besides fish. He does signs. I was up in his shop, Roman, and he's got so much killer stuff up there. It's unbelievable. The amount of projects he's got going too. They're all just hanging from the rafters in his garage. It's crazy.
He's got a project for us. That's good. It's great too. I don't want to spoil it, but it's gonna be awesome.
Really?
The project for Spotty Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
Okay, so I was up there. I saw it.
Okay. Don't mention it.
I did not touch it though because touching the trophy is not good luck. We found that in superstitions a while ago. So you never touch the trophy at a bass tournament because it supposedly is bad luck to touch it.
That's right.
Before you win it or before you earn it. You have to earn one of those to touch it. I saw it, guys. Oh my gosh. You think this one is good? This one's like.
That was really awesome, but this
one's awesome. I love my Spotty Bowl trophy, but this one, whoever wins these,
it's different, guys. It's really cool though. I think you guys will be super stoked.
And he's making one for every category.
Yeah, for each division.
Shore, amateur, pro, and masters. Yeah. Everybody, the winners of those divisions are all gonna get this. I mean, you guys, if you win this, you're gonna love it. It is incredible. I would have my grubby fingers all over that. Zach. That'd be fun to go over to Todd, to have a couple people go over to Todd's garage and you guys could see all the stuff he does. It's incredible. If you don't know, if you've never been to a TV Metal Art booth, it's incredible until you see that like in the daylight. But thank you, Todd. I really appreciate the sign. I saw the belt, or I saw the trophy, and man, incredible. All right, Roman, you got any other announcements you'd like to make?
That's it.
That's it. All right. So next thing I'm going to go over is the stats. Adobo worked really hard on these. So awesome. I'm going to go over these stats really quick. If you guys fish Spotty Bowl, during the results show, I kind of give like a basic breakdown of the stats that Eric did. But Adobo, thank you, Adobo, for spending the time and putting these stats together. We got percentages and everything here. Thank you so much for working on this. Okay.
Michael Tran just picked up the rod, guys. So thanks for the order, Michael Tran. Let's go. You're going to love this rod, man. It's amazing.
Dangler. My wife is so jealous of my sign, Salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toddy should have made those in a batch. He should have made a batch of those signs.
Yeah, I know. I think he probably could have sold every one he made.
Yeah.
It was super hard for him. Like, he sent me pictures through the whole process. He actually got, like, I would say almost halfway through, and something happened, and he had to throw it away and start over too on this. I know. I felt so bad, but thank you, Todd. All right, so stats. If you guys are fishing the Spotty Bowl, everybody knows that last Mission Bay session was pretty tough for almost everybody. A few people did pretty good, but not very many. So here's the stats on it. So it's a 3-day tournament. You had a decision to fish AM or PM. The day 1 AM, we had 14 anglers, 52 fish caught. 3 legals. That is a 5% of the fish, Roman, were legal, and a total of 631 inches. Average fish was 12.14. The average length of an angler's fish caught was 3.7 inches. That's not very good. 74% of the anglers caught a fish, at least one.
Okay.
Same day, PM session, we had 3 anglers, 11 fish. 0 legals, 134 inches. Average fish, 12.18. Average fish per. If you took all of them, 3.6 inches was your average. I'm sorry, 3.6 was the average fish caught. That's how many fish were caught per angler. Day 2, AM, 17 anglers, 26 fish submitted, 0 legals again. So the legals were gone. Let's see, the whole time only 7 legals were caught out of like, well, I think 70 people or 73 people fish.
Damn.
So it was hard to find a legal. 291 inches, 11.19 was your average. Average fish people caught was 1.5 fish per person. Yeah, not very good on that either. PM, same thing, 6 anglers, 20 fish, 3 legals. So the PM, that day, Saturday PM, had a 12.6 average, but 3 legals out of 20 people. So it had the most amount of legals. That's pretty good. 15% of the fish caught were legal. So that was pretty good. Sunday morning, 21 people. I think that's the morning I might have fished. 1 legal. 2% of the fish caught were legal. Average was 11.11. Day 3 PM, 7 anglers, 13 fish, 0 legals. Average fish 12.13. 1.8 fish per person. So that is your total. Oh, and totals. Okay, in total. So we had 67 anglers fish, 156 fish submitted, 7 legals. That's 4% of the fish caught. Total inches, 1,843 total inches. Average length, 11.18. So slow, but yeah. Some people did pretty good. But Adobo, thank you so much for the statistics. If you guys want to check those out, they're in stats in the MMFC Discord. Check them out, analyze them, print it out. He even gave you a PDF, print it out, save that baby, and compare it to next year. Man. And maybe that'll help you.
Round of applause for Bruce, guys. Adobo, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. It's anytime you guys take it upon yourself to do something cool for the club like that, I really appreciate it. It does get noticed. So thank you so much. And again, Bruce, that's something you don't have to do, but we appreciate every time you do it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce. Yes, that would be cool to see a live shot of Todd's shop, him working. That would be a cool video, Roman. Get on that. Todd at work.
Let's do it, Todd.
Working the wheel. Okay, so that is our statistics. And let's see, Roman, anything else you want to add to that?
It was terrible. I couldn't catch a fish. No, just kidding. It was fun.
Did you fish this weekend?
I didn't fish, no.
Oh, no. Okay. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? You should know this one, Roman. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
He was an upstanding citizen?
Close. Because he was outstanding in his field.
Oh, nice. Okay.
God, you were so close. One of these days, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Is John?
Okay, this one you'll know.
Brian, is John home? Is John home?
I don't know. Is John home?
Yeah, is John home? Can you get him on the show? John? Is John home?
I'm not following you.
Yeah, John. Is John there?
Is this a joke?
No, is John there?
John?
Yeah.
Is John here?
Yeah.
Are you trying to get me to say something?
Is John there?
Where's John?
Is John there?
John who?
You're supposed to say we don't have a John.
Oh,
and I'm supposed to say, then where do you go? The sink?
Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. I got something here I want to try out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Competing soundboard.
That's funny.
I got all kinds of good stuff in here. All right. All right, here's one you might know. What happens when you witness a shipwreck? You let it.
Oh, you let it sink in?
Yeah, you got it.
That was a hint. It was a big hint, though.
All right, let's move on. So, all right, so. Great job.
Is Frank Walls there?
What's that?
Is Frank Walls there?
There's no Frank here.
Is Pete Walls there?
There's no Pete Walls here.
Are there any walls there?
No walls that I know of.
What's holding up the roof?
Man, you're... You're worse than me, dude.
All right, on with the show.
We can do this all night because I really could do jokes all night. But let's move on, guys, and let's get on to our fishing topic. We're already halfway through the show here, Roman.
Yeah,
we're already
good.
halfway. So the fishing topic tonight is fish memory. Believe it or not, guys, we do talk about fishing on this show. We normally talk about bait fishing, but tonight we're going to answer the question, do fish only have a 30-second memory, Roman? And before I move on, go ahead. My first grade daughter.
Yeah, she loved it. Let's go. All right, let's do the show.
You're addicted now.
Let's do the show. So,
did you hear the shovel was groundbreaking invention? The shovel was a groundbreaking invention. Did you know that? Okay. We're out of rhythm, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
We're totally out of rhythm.
Yeah.
It's all timing. Our timing's terrible. Yeah. All right. Roman, do you? What we're tackling tonight is a lot of people think that a fish only has 30-second memory. Before I get on to this,
what do you guys think?
What do you think of the subject?
What do you guys think?
What do you guys think?
Do you think fish have no memory? Do you think they have a 5-second memory? Do they have a 30-second memory? Do they have an hour memory? What do you think? Let us know in the chat. Do fish have memory? If so, how long?
Yes, and the information I'm giving you tonight, guys,
is definitive. Are we going to answer this question once and for all? Right?
Okay. So
maybe not.
Let me get to that. So first of all, there's no studies done on spotted bay bass or any of our bay fish that track them, basically, that I could find. And I searched for a long time looking for specific studies on the type of fish that we fish, but there is none. So I'm going to have to take fish in general, studies of fish in general, and mainly largemouth bass, because largemouth bass, guys, they get all the love, Roman. There's so many of them out there. So there's a ton of largemouth bass studies. So a lot of the studies I'm going to be talking about are about largemouth bass. And the fish we fish are bass, so I'm hoping it kind of translate. But just so you guys know, these studies were done on that type of fish. Some of them were done on cichlids. So it's not spotty science, unfortunately.
Okay, well, still, it's a bass. It's a fish. So Dario says longer than that. Zach says 2 days. Cal says, I told my doctor that I have difficulty hearing out of my left ear. He asked, are you sure? I answered, yeah, I'm definite.
Good one, Cal.
That's a good one, Cal. I think
we need to have Cal on as a guest. Let's have an after-hour stand-up.
I think
everybody comes on and says a joke.
I think Cal needs to become my joke writer.
There you go.
So Muto says, fish are dumb as heck. JD says every fish remembers meeting me. Oh.
Ooh.
And then Salty says forever. They remember you forever. Grouper go back to the same holes, says Dario. That's a good one. Let's see. 2.5 days, says Zach. Okay.
I think you guys are gonna be kind of surprised about these studies that I found. And if you think their memories are that short.
Some of us need 30-second memories after these jokes. Nice one, Hyder.
Oh man,
Damn.
I was thinking about removing my spine. I feel like it's holding my back.
holding me back.
Yeah.
Holding me back.
I know, we're out of rhythm, man. Our jokes are terrible tonight. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop.
All right, here we go. So,
two cannibals were eating a clown. One says to the other, "Does this taste funny?" All right, that's enough.
Hey, are we gonna do a PDF? I mean, a presentation?
Yeah, I'm just getting there. I'm working on it.
Cool.
Cal's distracting me.
All right, no more jokes for the remainder of the presentation, so we can get this content done. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Now we're gonna go into do fish have memory?
That's right. Okay, so fish may not be intelligent as mammals, Roman, but experiments have shown that fish can remember up to 5 months. I know, is it crazy? They have the capacity to learn new skills, so they can be taught. Wow. I know, crazy too. And these scientific studies, if a fish has a strong capacity to learn and are proven to have good memories, then where does this myth come from? Why does everybody think that fish are stupid and only have a 30-second memory? Why we all think that, you know?
Wait, did you just give away the?
No, that's it's gonna go on and on.
All right, let's go.
So, okay, another thing I'm gonna tell you is these are like I'm going off of 4 different studies.
Okay, let's
and some of them counter each other. So, it's
controversy.
It's controversy. It's controversy. According to science, this is where I got this first information from. ScienceDaily.com. According to ScienceGate, it's popular belief that fish memory span only lasts 30 seconds. Canadian scientists, I think they're pretty smart up there, but if this is a Canadian scientist, however, demonstrate that it's far from the true fact, and fish can remember up to 12 days, they prove.
Whoa.
Okay, so this is how they did it.
Fishing Fridays, boys. Fish Fridays.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why this is how they approach this to figure out this. Okay, so they researched African cichlids, which is a popular aquarium fish. They're
small, right? Super small, right?
They're small, but in the wild, I think they get pretty big. Kind of like the size of a bass. But when you buy them in the aquarium, they're little fish. These fish demonstrate many complex behaviors, including aggression, causing the scientists to predict they are capable advanced memory tasks. Each fish was trained in a particular zone of an aquarium to receive food, with each training session lasting 12 minutes. So they put these fish in an aquarium, and in one specific section, they fed them food. So the fish knew, positive reward over here.
Food is there, yeah.
And they did that for 12 minutes. After 3 training days, the fish were given a 12-day rest. So they trained them for 3 days.
Give them time to forget.
They gave them 12 days to forget. The fish were reintroduced to the training area, and their movements were recorded by a motion tracking software. It was found that cichlids showed a distinct preference for the area associated with food rewards, suggested they recalled their previous training experience. Furthermore, the fish were able to reverse the association training session where food was rewarded in a different part of the tank. So they fed them on one, they got them comfortable on that one side, they took them out for 12 days, put them back in there, and they remembered that side after 12 days. Then they took them away for 12 days, put them back in there, and then they fed them on another area, put them back in the tank, and they remembered the new area. So they proved that fish had at least a 12-day memory, so that's scientific, right?
That is pretty scientific.
Yep. Okay. Now that's in an aquarium, though, right? So maybe it's different. But they say that for fish living in the wild, they associate locations with food, and that's a vital for a fish's survival. They have to be able to associate that if I go there, that's the clam bed, or that's where food is at. So that's what they study these in the wild, that they associate certain areas with food. Fish remember where the food is located. The fish that do remember food, because there's some stupid fish out there, and those don't have a evolutionary advantage.
Advantage. Yeah.
So if there's always one in the group that doesn't know where to do, and usually that's the one that gets picked off. So in their studies, they found out that the ones that knew where the food were at, they knew where to go, and they knew a key thing was they knew a predator didn't live there because they would have to figure out where the food was and there wasn't a predator. And those fish would survive longer, and they would learn that in the wild.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's can we talk about it for a second? Just how this how this applies to what we do, right? So based on that study, I would think that that's why you can go to certain spots and there's pretty much always a fish there, right? Depending on that tide, because we add the tide variance to the equation, and those fish kind of know where to go get their food, right?
Absolutely. Let's put this with though. So Coach, he goes to a certain area and he chums it. I was wondering why he did this.
Yeah.
And when I started reading this study, I was like, that's why Coach does that. And he'll go and he'll chum an area. Like, I don't know if he's even fishing. He just goes and chums an area. And I think that Coach has figured out if he does that, those fish, like they know a dinner bell is going to ring over there sooner or later. Coach, am I right on that? Is that how you're?
That's why Salty's saying. So you're saying Coach doesn't know spots, he makes them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say here. Coach has invested 20 years in feeding fish.
Coach, you don't have to tell us about a spot, but do you have a spot that you've been chumming for years? And how regularly do you fish that spot? Like, do you chum it every 3 days, every week? Because that's probably that's probably
how many bags of chips and slices of bologna have you thrown in that spot, Coach? Is Coach on?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's
on. So. Coach. All right, so that kind of it's a basic instinct memory. Like I guess it doesn't prove that they can do math or anything, but it's an instinct that they know where to go to get fed, and they know where to go not to go if there's a predator. So
that makes sense.
That's a memory, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. So that's African cichlids. Do largemouth bass have memories? So like I said, being in the saltwater world, especially bass saltwater, we don't quite get the love of the studies, and the largemouth industry is so huge. So big companies like Berkeley, big freshwater companies that do a lot of business will pay to have all this research done so that they can try to design a lure. Especially when we talked about scents, remember they had a certain crew of Berkeley would pay to come up with that secret scent they put in the gulp baits. Like that's a hidden secret that probably only one guy knows, and
his name is Colonel Sanders.
It's like the bush beans dog is the only one that knows the secret ingredient. So there's only, but they pay a lot of money. So the freshwater industry, they get a lot of love, they get a lot of research. Unfortunately, we don't, but we use a lot of their stuff. Okay, do largemouth bass have memories? Research has proven that bass has a memory which lasts no longer than those of 15 minutes, unless it's a repetitive behavior, like food behaviors and conditions, like a repetitive thing they do every day. They have a long-term memory. They've found up to 5 months if it's like a repetitive thing. But if it's just they have a short-term memory to where it's just like, oh, there goes a boat by or something like that. They may not remember something like that, but a repetitive thing that they do daily, they have a really good memory, they found out. So that's kind of interesting. But they also found out there's a term called hook smart.
Yeah, that's good.
We're going to get into that, but bass in, like, I would say a highly fished area, let's say, will become hook smart.
Lakes.
What's that?
Otay Lake. Lower Otay.
Yeah. How many times have they seen a Senko in there?
I know.
They're not chewing on Senkos.
Like, look at this guy in the kayak. Look at this guy.
So they found out that, yes, bass do have a pretty bad short-term memory. I guess I don't know how to describe this better. But when it comes to food and survival and behaviors, they've got a good long-term memory.
That makes sense. Evolution, yeah.
Okay, here's a good one I found. Hopefully I got a good answer to it. Do bass remember being caught? So you always think of that, just think when I'm measuring that fish and you move to the side, his eyeball follows you, right?
Yeah.
If you move it this way, they're watching you.
Yeah.
You may not think it, but those bass, if you're like in front of them, you could see their eye turn because they're watching you. Yeah. Or when your hand comes in close to hold them.
And they think you're gonna. They think for them it's like you're gonna swallow them. They're getting swallowed. That's why the spotties go like, "What? What do you want? Trying to swallow me? Puff up?"
Yeah. They turn their body and they stick out their gills and everything's sharp. Yeah. So do bass remember caught? We found through studies that bass do have memory. For example, if a bass is caught on a spinnerbait one day, it was almost impossible to catch that fish on the same lure the next day. This is a study, which is pretty cool. But once the fish has been exposed to lures day after day after day, they remember that lure and become cautious. So I'm starting to think, okay, back a few years ago when the A-rig kind of just started, that thing was on fire, dude. Yeah, I mean, but now I think so many people are throwing that. It's still effective, but I don't know if this study showed that with example, the spinnerbait, they would not get caught on it again a second time in the same day. Have they evolved to seeing that so many times that they're not biting it as much? And this
it makes sense. What up, HTX Pulsar in the house? What up, Oscar? Texas, MMFC Texas chapter. Let's go. Shoo! I gotta read these.
Fishing up there, or is your lake frozen?
I gotta read these exactly. He wrote them. Shoo! Let's go. He put it in twice. I had to do it twice. What up, Oscar? Welcome. We're talking about, do fish have memory, dude? And Brian's got some great studies he's quoting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one was interesting to me. That they don't seem to. Well, if you think about it, it's like a negative reinforcement. You say let's take the spinnerbait that they used, for example. Catch that thing. Ouch. Pulling it out of the water. It's negative, right? They can't breathe. They may not know exactly what happened,
but they're gonna remember that.
They remember that sound of that bait. The spinnerbait has a sound underwater. They remember the look of it, and they remember what happened to them. I'm not sure how long that memory is. They didn't say, but they said at least that day it was almost impossible to catch that fish on that lure. So
I wonder how they tested that.
It's a pretty big study, actually. The company was I didn't write it down, but I mean, that's an interesting study. So they think they do remember being caught because of that reason.
Yeah, because it's so traumatic, right? It's such a big pain stimulus, I think.
Well, that's the game though. Bass fishing. You think of, okay, you go into the shop and you see something, you're like, I bet they've never seen that lure before, and you think that's going to be a lot of things I base are trying to find something new. You want to find that new next creature bait that looks like who knows what, you know what I mean? You look at that creature bait and you're like, oh, that thing's going to get bit. I bet they've never seen that. That's made for fishing bluegill or something. The spotties have never seen that thing. So
exactly.
You go in there and you think, I'm going to get the next thing they've never seen, and I'm going to be tearing it up. So that's part of the game, man. You just constantly trying to figure out what's the next thing you can catch a bass on.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then some seasons are a little different, like summertime, they're a little more aggressive, but the winter, you gotta figure that out. Okay. Do bass remember lures? So this is kind of a part 2 of that. Research show under circumstances, bass can remember lures up to 3 months or perhaps longer. So maybe if they got hit by that A-rig and it snagged it in the back too, maybe he hears that sound and associates that big old thing coming through the water and may not bite again. In studies, bass were allowed to strike a lure. Okay, so this is the scientific part. They did this in a tank.
Cool.
They studied these bass. So in a study, bass were allowed to strike a lure for 5 minutes in a test. In the beginning, most strikes came in the first 1 to 3 minutes. By the end of the 5 minutes, the bass had learned to ignore the lure because it provoked no positive reward, meaning there was no food to be had in that lure. So they learned, hey, it looks good, looks like something I'd eat, but they kept hitting it, and it's a piece of rubber, so they figured out that there was no positive reward in eating that thing. The bass were then, after that 5 minutes, divided into 2 groups with no additional testing for a length of time, so 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, the bass in one of those groups was reintroduced to the same lure again for 5 minutes. The response of the bass was about 1/10 of its initial when they were exposed to the lure for the first time. So they remembered after 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Damn.
That was not food. So they did, this study showed, and then they did the same thing with the second group, and it still tested about the same, way below the initial response of throwing that bait in for the first time. So they did remember, and that's largemouth bass. So they remembered grabbing it. That's not food. First time they saw that thing, they grabbed it. 2 weeks later, tried the same test, and they remembered. So bass they're proving that the 2 week memory there.
Do you know if that lure in that test had hooks Or was it just a lure?
It just says the bait was allowed to strike, so I'm assuming no hook. I think they just put the bait in there for strike. It says.
And if so on top of that, let's add the violence of getting hooked. It probably makes that more extreme, right? Or it remembers it maybe longer, or it's less than 1/10 of whatever initial interest it showed. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool study. The same results under the same circumstances. Remember, okay, the same results under the same circumstances. Excuse me. Bass remember things for at least 2 to 3 months, perhaps even longer. So they kept testing them with that, and even after 2-3 months, it wasn't like the initial first 5 minutes where they were taste testing that thing. So they remembered it. So there you go.
This is with artificials, right?
Artificials, yes. It was. So there was no reward. They thought it was food. They tasted it. It's a bait, it's rubber, whatever it was, and they realized, hey, that's not food. So
got it.
Fish had a memory there. So another scientific fact that fish can remember. Okay, next thing. This one is very interesting. This one I don't have to talk a lot about because it was a big scientific project done over a long period of time. Do bass go back to where they were caught after released from a tournament weigh-in?
So, before we do this, hit that like button, boys, and subscribe if you haven't already. We continue on with this thrilling, exciting topic of, do fish have memory? What happens to the fish after they get released at a tournament? You know, a tournament, most tournaments, not our tournaments, but bass tournaments, like on boats, they bring in the fish, they weigh them at a one central location, and then they release them into the water nearest to where they weighed them in. What happens to those fish?
Yeah, exactly. Most tournaments, like the tournament I just fished this weekend, you bring in your 5 biggest fish, you weigh them in on the scale, and then you place them in the water where you weighed them in at. Some tournaments, the U.S. Open, they actually have a huge pontoon boat with a big giant tank on it, and they put them in there and they release them at not in this one little bay. Right. So they release them out into the lake. Some tournaments do that, but most tournaments don't have that budget, or they just don't have a boat or the connections to do that. So yeah, most tournaments, the weigh-in tournaments, are released right there. And what do, Roman? What's your hypothesis? I'm just curious.
Oh, my hypothesis is that this is what I think. I think during the day, they just scuttle to get like into cover, just because it's daytime, and then at night or sometime where it's like they feel like they're more concealed, they'll start making their way out of that area to look for food, maybe. But I don't know if they actually make it all the way back to where they got caught.
Yeah, because I mean, you think about it, some of these lakes are huge. Some of these lakes, the lakes that they did study on, to get across it in a boat's 40 minutes. So, 16 miles, some of them 20 miles.
Oscar said they hide and wait for the tournament to end. That's true.
There's a lot of anglers that will show up the day after a tournament and try to see if they can scoop up one of those trophies that were caught. If they, like your theory is, or like just go right under a dock and they just are kind of recovering from being in that live well for a day or two. So there's some anglers that will do that. And if it's a multi-day tournament, sometimes people will fish that kind of area hoping they can get one of those big ones. But
wow.
Okay, so competitive fishing tournaments have been very popular in recent years. During a tournament, the bass are caught and anglers transport them via live well to designated areas and locations where the largest bass are weighed in. And the bass are released usually in surrounding waters. And this is, remember guys, this is largemouth. There's no spotty study like this. They just don't get the love, man. There's not enough of them out there. Thus, catch and release tournaments have potential to displace fish outside of their known ranges. So they've been taken from their home and dropped into this area. And this study was done. George Maynard led a team of scientists from the State University of New York College. I think they're pretty smart in New York. Maybe, not maybe. On a study to examine 2 examples of movements of survival of bass displaced from fishing tournaments, and they did it in a Lake Champlain. So this study was conducted in that lake and during the summer of 2011 and 2012. Okay. So this is not just largemouth, but most bass tournaments is largemouth and smallmouth. So it's about a 50-50 on the fish that were released. So the researched fish, 1,160 largemouth and 1,141 smallmouth were caught by anglers fishing in 8 major bass fishing tournaments. So almost, what is that? Almost like 2,500 fish that's a lot of fish each fish was tagged with a T-bar anchor tag, and that's a T-bar anchor tag is like a long, thin tag.
Yep.
They stick it into it. If you ever catch one of those, has usually a phone number and a serial number on it, and you can call that in and participate in a study. If you ever do catch a fish with something like that, I think there's a yellowtail study, right?
We should do one.
I think there's a.
Yeah. We should do our own study.
Yeah,
we have enough people.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, if we could get a training on how to tag it. If we could get like a legit, because if we're going to be sticking something in spotties, I want to have a training on exactly how to do that.
I think we need this. And Kevin, you might be able to help us with this. We need to find somebody that can give us guidance. We need a scientist that can actually do the they could actually overlook the study and set up the protocol for us, and then we'll pack a bunch of tags, and as we're catching spotties, we can tag them, and then if we catch a spotty that's already tagged, we just call it in, and dude, that would be sick. We have a lot of people that are participating in Spotty Bowl. We can make it part of that.
You got that. I mean, like Birch Aquarium, I know they have programs up there. Hub, the SeaWorld, what is that? The Hub area, whatever that's called. They have good research on halibuts from there. So I would love to see some like year-long statistics on where these fish are caught. Yeah, let's get that together as a group. Yeah. If anybody out there knows anybody that can, in the scientific community, that can train us how to do that, I'd love to do that.
Very cool.
So basically, that's what they did. They have these T-bar tags, like I said, a long tag that if anglers throughout the year caught it, they would come in and say, hey, I caught it here. It looked like this. And they also, the cool thing about this study is that they had, I lost my spot here. They also had some surgically implanted bass with a radio transmitter that would track their long-term movements throughout the lake. So it doesn't say how many, but a lot of them were surgically inserted with a transmitter. So that's a really, I guess, probably an accurate way to. The bass were captured in the tournament, released into Cumberland Bay, which is in that lake. If you Google that lake, it's like in the kind of the middle of it. It's like it's a bay part of the lake. So this lake is huge. After the weigh-ins, the radio tags were tracked weekly from the boats from April to December, so 8 months. And recreational anglers caught the T-bar tagged bass, and they reported their location and date where they had been caught. Over the time, many of those bass never left Cumberland Bay. So a majority of the radio tagged smallmouth, 56% of the smallmouth dispersed out of the bay almost immediately. Smallmouth were a little different. 43% of the largemouth left that bay after 2 days. But the smallmouth, 56% of them were like, boom, they hit the water and they were gone. So maybe the smallmouth are just not quite as slow to get around as a largemouth, but they bolted. Smallmouth dispersed further than the largemouth. So in the study, they dispersed out further than largemouth, and this may have been due to their habitat, the preferences of the smallmouth. Cumberland Bay is very shallow with a lot of structure. And when a largemouth, I guess, gets comfortable in a shallow structure and it's not their home, they make it their home. So my guess is those largemouth might be bullies. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, this looks like a nice spot. Here's a log. And then instead of them moving across to where they were, they just get comfortable versus a smallmouth. They've kind of scrambled, I think, to find a spot. None of them, amazingly, went out to the deep portions of the water. I don't know if it's because maybe it was colder, maybe
immediate cover.
But if you go to this study, guys, I'm gonna try to put a link in Discord. It actually shows a map, and it shows pinpoint dots all over the map of where these fish ended up. And there's actually a scene where they show tracking it like week to week where the fish went. It's a very interesting article. The lake has a lot of rocky areas, and that's a lot where the smallmouth ended up. And both species avoided the deep areas of the lake, possibly because it was hard to navigate. The fish also use a lot of landmarks. So if they don't, if, they're in the open water, there's no landmarks. Maybe they, I always think that fish have a good keen scent and they can smell, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Only one smallmouth out of all the 2,500 fish made its way back to its exact location where it was caught, at least that they found out. So out of all those, only one made it back. So I guess if we disperse all those fish, they're probably not going to make it back to where they were. They're just going to find a new home.
Only one made it back, you said?
Only one out of almost 2,500.
Yeah,
at least,
so
because remember, there was only so many electronic transmitters. Only one that was reported. So maybe more did.
Got it. That makes sense.
But one was reported to the exact area where it was caught.
I like the way they did that study. That's pretty cool. So I'm looking at the little T-bar anchor tags. I could probably get some, but now I have to figure out what DFW or Department of Fish and Wildlife, what kind of permits we need, or if we need a permit to run that. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool, but I definitely would want a training on how to apply that, because I know it's like a little, it's almost like a little needle. It sticks in it with a barb, and it just doesn't come out. Yeah,
it's you can get them, and we get them custom size, so we don't need them to be that big. We could do small ones, so it's not like
that would be so incredible. I would love to. Yeah.
Okay, well,
and we've got a big enough club. I mean, Roman, I looked at our club. Our club is over 300 members right now, guys. We are.
That's awesome.
To me, I mean, this club is 300 members plus. I think it's closer to 320 members now. That's
and the best part, guys, is where it's still, even at this number, we are civilized.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's like cool. So thank you, everybody, for being cool. Okay, thank you. That's cool. So let's keep it
what I read about that study, what I just read, you guys, I didn't want to bore you guys like crazy, but there's like a 7-page study on the thing I just read. So if you're interested in that, I'll put that in a link in Discord where you guys can check it out. And it's got a video. It's got all kinds of cool stuff if you're interested in finding that. But that is just the basics of it.
So let's talk about that information that you just shared and how it applies to us, right? Let's take that information and just pretend that spotties would have similar behavior, right? What happens when like SBS pulls a bunch of big fish from San Diego Bay and then does a weigh-in in Mission Bay? Like, do we get...
let me give an example of that. So last year, Mission Bay was a spotty-only tournament. And it wasn't just Mission Bay. You had the option last year in SBS. Most people don't like Mission Bay. So you had the option to go to San Diego Bay, fish, come back to Mission Bay, and do your weigh-in. Yeah. There was only 2 people that stayed in Mission Bay, me and I think one other. So I stayed in Mission Bay because I knew San Diego Bay was going to be hammered. So when they came back at the weigh-in, there's probably 50 boats, and I'm going to say they average maybe 2 or 3 spotties per boat. And in SBS, it has to be a legal spotty. So if you think about that, at least 20, 30 spotties were brought back to Mission Bay from San Diego Bay and released. What do you think happened? There's no way they could have made it back to San Diego Bay.
Yeah, no way. They'll get eaten on the way there. There's so many. There's so many big fish through like the Point Loma, La Jolla, all that stuff. Not La Jolla, sorry. Through like Point Loma, the whole kelp forest.
Well, how many times have you caught a spotty in La Jolla or in Point Loma?
No, they're bay fish.
Zero.
Bay fish,
yeah, exactly. So I'm not 100. I'd love to know if they did. Can you imagine if we tagged a spotty in Mission and somebody caught it in San Diego?
Yeah.
We would the light bulbs would go off. These things do migrate from bay to bay, which would be incredible.
But what if we caught and tagged a fish in San Diego Bay, right? And then somebody caught it and did a tournament and brought it to Mission Bay, and then didn't tell us that they caught it and released it.
As far as I searched for any type of information like that on spotted bay bass, and it does not exist that I could find. I don't know if there's been like a huge study. There's been study on growth. There's been study on eating habits. We've gone over that before. Yep. But as far as like migrations and what do they do when they're, where we know those legals are in Mission Bay, where are they? You know what I mean? Where are they going? So
yeah, it's time for us to become the scientists, dude. I think
I
we've
agree, Roman.
exhausted the resources that are available to us. What's our next step? To quit? No, we don't quit. We fish harder and we tag them. No. So let's that's cool. I like that. So we can definitely get small tags made. Pattern recognition, no tag.
I like where this is going. I love the science. I think we truly do need somebody in the scientific community on board with this, though, to teach us exactly what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, what stuff we do to catalog. So like, yeah, I mean, we have the technology, and by technology I mean like we can set up the stuff I need to do this. Just can register the fish. We can make the process smooth, but I just want to make sure we're collecting the right data, right? And that's what we need the scientists to help us with. And then the scientists will also be able to crunch the numbers and give us like reports on our data, right? That's cool.
Can we buy one surgically inserted electronic device where we could like have a web page dedicated to that fish where we could live track to see where he's going?
You'd have to have
that would be amazing.
No, I mean the way that thing works, the little beacon, it wouldn't get triggered. It wouldn't have the ability to transmit above the water. But you're cruising around with the boat, you can pick it up. So you don't have to actually catch the fish. You just know that it's in that area. So you know that it's still there.
Follow it around for a day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or in a kayak would even be better.
Yeah.
Just follow it around.
It's like, what are you doing?
We need to order a few of those, and we need a scientist on board to actually to do the surgery, I guess.
Yeah. So out of the 300 members, anybody interested or anybody curious about helping with this study, let us know. And then we'll figure it out what we need to do to make this happen. If we make it happen, it'll be fun. I'm gonna fish.
Hey, I'll donate to that cause. All right. So to end this, how far do bass travel? So they did a study, and I found 2 studies, and they were exact opposite. So I don't think this is truly. I don't know if it's a total mystery, but from the information I got, some bass they call them homers. Some bass are homers and some are travelers.
Ooh.
A study found that 90% of bass that were caught, tagged, and released were captured within 100 yards of the release point. And they're calling those the homers. They just, whatever. You flop in the water, they find a spot, and that's their new home. So they said 90%.
Wow.
But then I went into it deeper and deeper, and I found another study that said over 90% of the bass tagged and released moved great distances, some up to 16 to 20 miles. So I could not find any like total conclusive, besides that long study I read with the, over the 8-month period, that exactly know what bass do once they're released from a tournament. So inconclusive is what I'm going to say, Roman. I could not find a conclusive answer.
HTX Polestar. Oscar saying he's gonna take a pair of spotted bay bass and introduce him to Texas Bay.
Oh, Fish and Game may not like that, but man,
what's a water temperature like there? Because they're like subtropical fish, dude.
Subtropical fish. Yeah, they only exist in Southern California and Mexico or southern areas of. Yeah, they're huge fish to us. Like when I was talking to the IGFA guys about getting that line category, like in San Diego, in Southern California, that's like, we're all about spotties, but you leave just this little area, this little bubble, and people are like, what's a spotted bay bass?
Yeah.
And you show them a picture, like, oh,
spotty?
How big is that thing? You're like, 2 pounds. And like, oh, is that big?
It's a beast.
That's a beast. That's a whale. That's a monster.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's a little bubble, but we love those fish. All right, Roman. So is there any more comments or questions about fish memory? Have we hit that subject hard enough here?
I think we're good. Anybody have any questions, any comments?
If anybody, Adobo, wants to lead up the tagging research group and try it, because Roman and I know super busy. If we honestly truly want to do that tagging, and somebody wants to head it up and start making some phone calls, and maybe we can find somebody in a scientific meeting, head it up. Do it.
Yeah, if you're like,
get it there and get it done.
If you're working on your research paper for if you're actually trying to be, what is it called, a marine biologist, right?
Yeah.
And you have a thesis you want to work on this project with us, we have the people, we have the bodies to to make your paper like probably one of the best papers that's going to be out there on spotty behavior, because
I know they have done this study on yellowtail because I was at a San Diego Anglers meeting where they had somebody from, I think, the Scripps Institute that would go on charter boats, and he asked people to volunteer to catch yellowtail and tag and research those things. So the studies do get done. They just haven't been done on this fish.
Yeah, be cool.
That would be cool. So all right, so here we go. Here's my gong. Pretty weak.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But
a sanctioned gong. That's an unsanctioned gong. Remember like the last episode with the intro music? It got flagged. It got flagged.
Are you saying my gong might be copyrighted?
No, that intro music that I put got flagged.
You know what's not copyrighted?
Wait, do you hear me?
Snagging grass and catching bass.
I know why? Because that's me.
That's right. Perfect. That's funny. The intro music from the last episode, it got a strike.
No way.
Yeah. Even though I used the music that was supposed to be legit for me to use, and then like the next morning I had like a notice saying, "Oh, you use uncopyrighted, you use somebody else's music, blah blah." And I was like, "Nope, I got proof that I can use this." So I sent them like the whole rights and permissions that I'm paying for, and then like the next like in like the 4 hours it was like, "Oh, okay. Your video is released from liability. You have the rights to use the song." So it was just some random company throwing up like putting up fake claims to copyright music on videos on YouTube, and they just do that. And if you don't fight it, they'll keep the revenue from that video. And if they just keep repeating it,
like a big scam.
It's a big scam, yeah. But anyway, it's crazy, right?
Now, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, I tried to put in the beginning of the show, I tried to slip in, and Roman caught me some kind of a big musical entrance, and he's like, "No way!"
Yeah,
last second, and he changed it.
I had to change his music last second, guys. So I had to make sure the music was that I had the rights to use it, and then sure enough, we got the ding for it, but I had the permission to use it, so we're good. If it would have used the original music,
not allowed to do what I want. The man's always telling me no.
Awesome. Well.
All right, let's move on to guys. If you're new to the show, we got a segment called PB Shoutouts, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna go to screen share here, Roman, and we are gonna go directly to PB Shoutouts.
PB Shoutouts. Oh, do you guys know that my gaming channel is at 110 subscribers? What?
Woo, man!
Woo. Moving up in the world. All right. Let's start the show. This segment of the show is called PB Shoutouts. And we have an awesome intro put together by Sound Fishing in the house. Let's go, Sound Fishing. Anthony, go find him in the chat and give him say hello, Anthony, in the chat, and give him a sub. He's also doing fishing content now on his new channel called Sound Fishing. Hit him up for any kind of audio expertise. There you go. That's a big shout out. All right, here we go. You ready?
Let her rip, dude.
We've seen you out on the water. They say you fishing harder. I guess we'll find out this week on our PB Shoutout.
Shout out. Nice.
All right, there he is, Cal, right up front, double fisting. So let's start out this thing. These are local anglers who have sent me pictures of. They don't necessarily have to be PBs. I'm just asking for any fish story or any fish that you're proud of. First up. We got Luke.
That's an angel
Luke
shark.
Caught his. This is your favorite fish, Roman. You recognize that thing?
Yeah, I do.
PB caught a few weeks ago. Didn't measure him. I don't blame you. Didn't measure him, but it was heavy enough to break his net. Broke the net,
wow.
dude. Caught at Ski Beach. I realized it wasn't a spotty pretty quick. Yep. Didn't know what it was. Got it. Didn't know what it was, but I got it identified. I was throwing a 1/4 ounce war bait with a curly tail made from a local bait maker. It didn't run at all.
Wow.
So it was just like, it was because it was definitely heavy and he was using his light gear.
Oh,
he was lucky to get that baby in.
Yeah.
He caught it on a Phoenix Maximum rod with 10-pound braid and 8-pound leader. Dang, that is lightweight for that thing. So I didn't know if it was going to break off. I asked him if he had a picture of him holding it up, and he said there's no way I was gonna carry that thing.
So
if you guys don't,
it's a shark, right? It's a shark, so it's got to keep moving to breathe, right?
Angel sharks are kind of like rays, so
Okay.
I don't know.
That's it. Okay.
Most sharks, yes, need to be constantly moving. I'm not sure about the angel sharks, because when you're diving, don't you see those just sitting on the bottom, not moving?
I haven't really seen one just
Haven't
hanging
seen
out.
one?
Oh yeah, I have.
I think I've seen those
with
just looking into shallow water occasionally now and then, and they're just sitting there. So I think they may be, I'm not a scientist, but I think they may be similar to the rays. He guessed that thing weighed 35 to 40 pounds. Dang. How do you get a world record fish in like that on 8-pound leader with the teeth it's got? That is crazy. So awesome catch. That must have been a struggle to get that thing in. Very cool. That's an angel shark, guys. If you don't know, look up angel sharks and look at a picture of one's mouth. Ugh.
It's got actual teeth in there, and it's like a jaw. It's like a shark mouth. It's not like a stingray. It looks like it might have like a little stingray mouth, but it's got a shark mouth. Okay, shark mouth.
All right. Next up, we got an MMFC record.
The Mandalorian joined our club. Let's go, Mando!
Mandalorian's out there. This Vespa on, yeah. MFC record halibut, 28.5 inches, 9.39 pounds, caught on a live Mac. And guess who caught that? That's Oscar,
Mandalorian.
Guys.
Mando.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Mandalorian or Oscar.
Let's go, Oscar.
Oscar was out on his Aaron's father-in-law boat. He hooked into a fish, had some hard tugs. He wished he had his Daiwa Coastal 200 when he caught it, but no, he was fishing a Penn Warfare 20N with a 7-foot heavy, ugly stick for big water rod. So it sounds like he had a massively overpowered setup. He was fishing for something big. So it didn't give too big of a fight because he had such an overpowered setup on it. California halibut, 9.39 pound, 28.5 inches. He caught it around 8 a.m. near Point Loma on 40-pound mono on a 3-way swivel with 25-pound mono as the leader. Caught that baby on a live Mac.
Nice, dude.
And that's the new MMFC record. So you got a couple pictures of it. He got it on the scale.
Very cool. Thanks for all the details too, Oscar. That's great. Benny Moreno, what up, dude? Welcome to the show. I'm sorry you missed the beginning, dude. No worries. As always, we record these, so it'll be published right after the show is over. It'll probably take about 5 minutes for it to get republished, and then you'll be able to watch the replay and watch the part you missed. We talked about fish memory, so it's a good one.
So there, that thing is almost. Oh man, if he would have, he could have made 29 inches if he was a spotty bowl style. But that 28.5, good fish there. Okay, next up. Oh, and that's a setup. You sent me a picture of the setup he caught it on. And that's everybody's owned an ugly stick. It seems like at one point. I still have a couple of those. Are good. Those are good rods. They last forever. So that's what he caught it on. Next up, we got Chuck.
Let's go.
So you guys know who that is? That's Chuck. He works on the Mustang. I think Chuck is the cook on the Mustang, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is.
He caught a 60-pound bluefin last year while at work on the Mustang. I kept a rod outside of his galley door at all times with a Daiwa Alexa 400 spool with awesome. 65-pound braid and a 4-foot section of 40-pound fluoro with a Daiwa Salt Pro minnow tied on. That's something you keep on, I guess, at all times in case those things come up. As I was preparing lunch, the bluefin boiled out my window, and 25 minutes later, he was serving up poke bowls.
Oh my god!
On the menu.
Dang.
So, sounds like he caught it and prepared it for everybody. That's awesome.
That's awesome, dude. That's such a cool thing. I bet everybody was
on the menu for afternoon joy. I mentioned the gear because I want to talk about the new technology. I can't help but laugh. In 2003, when I first worked on Sports Boat, the Vanguard, there were absolutely no way anything was close to this story would happen because the braid wasn't introduced. So I think he's talking about how you can catch, he caught it on a basically Alexa 400, which is, it's not a huge reel, but it's amazing now the technology behind the line, the braid and the reels now that you can pull in a 60-pound fish on a setup like that. You just got, hanging out the galley window.
This is like the ideal size for the rods we were putting out. This is like exactly what you would fish for with that rod. So very cool.
And I still have one piece left of my bluefin, and man, it is. If you guys haven't caught and ate a bluefin, oh my god, is there anything better, Roman?
Actually, no. Hey, it reminds me. I took out some some of the bluefin from last year, and it's thawing in the fridge actually. So very cool. Do you still have some in your freezer?
I got one piece left, so I'm saving it for my special occasion. No, next year I'm gonna fill a freezer. I'm gonna go buy a freezer and fill it.
Is your freezer running?
Are you turning into the judge? You trying to set me up? Yes. My
you better go catch it.
Running. You better go catch it. I knew you were gonna say that.
my kids love that one.
Next up. Next up, we got Gavin.
Let's go.
Okay. He says, not a giant. Hold on one second, actually. He says, not a giant. He's got a story. I got to bring this up. And if you guys don't know Gavin,
I made some poke and seared tuna last weekend. Nice.
Okay, it's not a giant, but he calls that his wheelie big spotty because he caught it while sitting on his walker, caught on a 1 ounce jig head with a 2-inch combat jig. It's his favorite picture because it's his first spotty he caught while sitting on his walker right there. Nice. He was talking to his buddy Max, and all of a sudden he felt the line get super slack, and I reeled in a little bit, and it really got tight. He hooked for a few seconds, and then it came off. He slowly let it go back down into the eelgrass, and the same fish came back. It got him. He smashed it, and he got it in. He was on Vacation Island fishing with a California Ultralight 6.6 and a 1500 Daiwa BG. I like that reel.
That's cool.
All catching these fish while sitting. My Express Euro style walker by Nova. All right, awesome. So getting out there and catching spotties from his walker, that's awesome. Congratulations, cool. Gavin.
Nice,
Good job on that. Get out there in the outdoors. That's awesome. Congratulations, Gavin. All right, next up we got this guy.
Let's go.
For you guys don't know who that is Salty Dangler. Me and Salty Dangler went out and fished on my boat this weekend. And Salty, if me and Salty were in a sculpin tournament, we probably would have lapped second place. We were tearing up the sculpin. At least cool. Salty was. So this is a new MFC record for a sculpin. He got a 15.5 inch, 2.09 pound on a 2 ounce cool bait, I believe, with a 5.8 inch Kitech. I know the story on this because I watched him catch it, and I took that picture. So Salty and me were dragging deep in the bay. I think Salty and I were about 60 feet deep. He was dragging that thing slow and low on the bottom, hooked into that thing, and we were hoping it was a big sand bass. It wasn't. Any other time, we would have been pretty excited about that fish, but we were looking for a different fish. Salty Dangler plopped that thing in, took some pictures of it, threw it right back out. No tacos there tonight. We were at a mission, so we did not keep that thing. But congratulations, Salty. The mouth on that thing, Roman, was huge. That bait that's a 2 ounce jig head. So it's kind of deceiving, but the mouth on that thing was huge, like a largemouth's mouth. It was big.
Was that in LA?
If you look in the background,
you
see those cranes?
Yeah.
That is beautiful, beautiful Long Beach, which I'm being sarcastic here, Roman. It's like if you've never fished Long Beach before, it's like where all the sea cargo containers are dropped off. Yep. So you're fishing like in a heavy industry area. So it was interesting. I enjoyed fishing up there. It was the first time we ever fished up there. It was interesting. New waters, always fun. I think there's potential for a really big sand bass up there. Very cool. And there it is, measured out. Next up, we got, I know. I think he's kind of sent this as a joke, but this is Stephen G.
Let's
it's not
go.
a monster, but I caught it in the Delta last month, was fishing for bass.
That's perfect.
Gave up.
Striper.
Because the bass were so tough, he decided to target a striper. All I caught was this one and one other small striper throughout the day, so he's proud he didn't get skunked.
Yeah, no skunk.
The water temp was 46 degrees, which means it's probably freezing outside too. So that's a skunk buster right there. Good job, Steven. Not giving up.
Yeah.
Making an adjustment and catching yourself the Mac of the lake, the striper.
No, those things get big, right?
Yeah, I know, but a lot of them are really small.
I like the photo though. He's like, eh.
The first time I grabbed one of those, when I caught my first striper that size, I didn't realize that they were so spiny, because usually the freshwater fish, I don't know, or so, but man, those things are pokey like a saltwater fish. Okay, next up, we got Peter, 22.
Let's
Jack Nisco
go.
coming
That
through
thing.
again. Man, this guy's he's a regular on this show. He got his PB largemouth on his Daiwa medium rod.
That's awesome.
With a Cast King jaw reel, 50-pound braid on the 6 cents Vega frog.
Ooh.
There, he's holding it up right there.
Oh, dude, frogfish are so fun to catch too.
That's right. This was the summer of 2021, September. Tossed a frog on the edge of the bank, started popping it back. The fish went for it the first time and missed it, so he tossed it back again for the second time, jerked it, and boy, the hook was set at that point, man. There's nothing like a frog blow up, man. Those are incredible. This time, fought for a good minute and then just gave up, pulled her out of the water. First fish, it's his first frog fish also, and it's a 5.29 pounder. There he is on the scale. There's the frog in his mouth. So congratulations on your PB largemouth. That's a fun way to catch it too.
That's very cool. Thang Yang says, SD spotted bay bass won't survive in the Gulf due to the temp change. Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
Subtropical fish, dude. I mean, when we say it gets cold here, the water gets what, 56 degrees maybe? And that's that's not really cold, but we're like, it's freezing. But it's 56.
So in Texas, the water gets colder, right? Because they have ice?
I'm assuming that it gets in the 40s, Oscar. I don't know where he's fishing, but I'm assuming it gets cold there, yeah.
Cool.
Why, are you thinking about shipping them?
No. That would be illegal. We don't do or promote illegal things.
That's what I'm saying. Fishing game would not like that. Okay. Next up, we got Alex. Man, look at that pose.
Let's go.
Dang. That's a big carp right there.
That's awesome.
That is a cool. That's the kind of pose when you catch a carp like that.
Yeah.
Dude. All right. So 6 years ago on the shore of Lake Skinnerd. That's Kevin's home lake, man. That's where he's at all the time. The longest 12 minutes of my life. He caught a 22-pound carp on 6-pound fluoro with a wacky style green pumpkin Seiko. Man, they'll eat anything.
Wow.
Seiko. Caught on a Shimano 200 reel with a Shimano 7-foot medium heavy rod. So he fought that thing for, what did he say, 12 minutes, longest 12 minutes of his life. Man, that's a small setup. Yeah. When you hook into a big carp, because I've hooked in a few of those, once you even get it close to shore, you're like, what the heck do I do now if you're fishing from shore? I mean, they're so big. You got to go in there and grab them. I'm sure that's what he had to do. But those things get the beast. That's a coach special right there, huh?
That's a lot of carp cakes, Coach.
Yeah, exactly. His neighbor would be thrilled to wheeled that thing in. His Discord name is Fish1904 Club, and that is Alex. So congratulations.
Nice,
good
Alex.
fish.
That's very cool.
It's a beast. Did you eat it? Okay, last up. You guys don't know who this is? This is Chad.
Let's
Mr.
go.
Inflatable. He's out there in his inflatable raft. Where the donuts at, man?
Nice.
That thing's got a rod holder too. That's a sweet setup right there. Okay, so Chad sent me kind of a story here. I want him to send pictures of his raft. So if you guys see him out there, you know who he is. There's his raft right there.
That's perfect.
Man, what a beautiful picture.
Hey, Chad, that's a freshwater motor, right?
But those motors are pretty inexpensive. You just buy them and use them till they die.
I've had issues with that in the salt.
I have that same motor on my canoe.
Okay.
And they're pretty inexpensive, so you don't expect them to last very long, but they're pretty, $99, $129, some of them.
And you use it until it starts to die?
I've had mine for like 4 years.
Oh, it's still going,
salt. So you get 4 years out of anything, that's in salt.
True.
Whatever.
Oh, that one is salt rated. Okay. Cool.
Oh, he says it's salt rated?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay. The one I have is not. Cool. All right, so there's his setup, sweet setup. Somehow he gets 2 people on that thing too.
It's cool.
I've seen it. So 2 people on that thing. All right, this is what he caught. Okay, this is the past Sunday with his buddy Kevin. We were in the inflatable. We hit the water at 7 a.m. at Shelter Island, went straight to the bait barge with no luck. Then they went to the secret spot, the secret MMFC spot. I gave him a underspin to try with a white gulp. That's a killer setup. Thanks for suggesting that. After 30 minutes, there was a ton of casts, and a ton of casts, he hooked up. He quickly reeled up the line, and I had to help him. He had to adjust the drag events. It sounds like this might have been Kevin's first trip out, or maybe his friend's first trip out, or maybe he's new to fishing. He had to adjust his drag since he only had 8-pound leader on there, 20-pound braid. Once he got it to the surface, I grabbed the net, scooped him up, and he wants to thank Adobo for the idea of the collapsible net, because Adobo taught him, I guess, that you got to have one of those.
Very nice.
Then, funny enough, Kevin hooked his pants with a different lure. So while they're fighting this fish, it sounds like Kevin hooked himself on the pants. So he had to quickly cut it off so that he could shift focus back to the fish.
Oh my god.
You insert Benny Hill music at that point, right?
That's funny.
I then lifted it out of the water, grabbed it with my orange fish grips to help him out. To get it out of the net, we put it on the bump board, measured it, snapped a few photos, and then the fish was on his way. We high-fived and then waved and tried to repeat the same process, but no luck. Funniest part of the whole story was heading back around 12:30. The winds kicked up.
Uh-oh.
And the current shifted.
Uh-oh.
And the trolling motor died.
Oh,
Oof.
no.
I thought, oh, no, I have a problem. It switched to my backup. And it got us to the bait barge. That's still pretty far out.
Yeah.
From there, they had to paddle almost 2 hours paddling to get back to the shore. We couldn't make it to Shelter Island boat ramp, so they felt like their arms were going to fall off. So we made it. I guess maybe they made it to another spot, and they had their girlfriend Kat come pick them up. I guess they folded up the raft and moved on to the back of the car. We dragged the stuff up to the rocks. Needless to say, looking to get some new batteries. My dad would say it figures. At the end of the day, we had a fun adventure and did not get skunked. So that's a fun story, Chad. Thank you for sharing that.
That's cool.
And look at this picture. I love that you're using an UV glove to measure your fish. That is awesome. Is that an UV glove?
No, it's just like a...
Oh, it just looks like one. So there you go. There's him weighing it. And that's a different picture. There you go, Chad. Congratulations. Tell Kevin congratulations on I don't know if that's his first halibut, but congratulations on landing that. Sound like an adventure. And that is it for PB shoutouts, Roman. I'm gonna go ahead and exit my screen share.
Oh, give me a second. That's so funny. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good adventure. That's a good adventure right there. Was that your friend's first time fishing on your inflatable? It's probably like, it's the last time.
And where they were at, the secret spot's pretty far out from Shelter Island. That's especially with the wind and current.
Yeah. Once you make it to the bait barge, though, you at least have a little bit of a wind break, but still, if the current is ripping, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and I'm sure with two guys in there rowing an inflatable raft those things are probably not very easy.
That's so funny.
That's part of the adventure, right, Chad? Good for you. All right, so at the end of the show, Roman, I think we're at the end. Is there anything else? Look at my notes. I think that is it, the end of the show here. At the beginning of the show, I said that me and Roman, if you guys watch the show regularly, you know, here we go. Thank you, Leonard.
Let's go, Leonard. Yeah, Leonard with the 4 months. Mad Max Fishing Club. Let's go. Movie reviews. Leonard has continued his membership to the Mad Max Fishing Clubhouse. If you're interested in joining the Mad Max Fishing Clubhouse, type in !join into the chat. You get a cool little badge next to your name. You get emotes that you can spam in the chat. Guys, if you're in the clubhouse, please do some emote spamming for us real quick in the chat. You use the angry butt, the grumpy spotty, the bit, the your bit logos. Let's go ahead and spam them in the chat. And you also get 10% off any MMFC branded gear in our shop. That includes the rods that we're putting out, guys. So I think somebody earlier, whoever just purchased a rod today, we need to make sure that you apply that 10%. If you didn't apply it and you're a member of the fishing club, we're gonna apply that for you. I'll send you a refund for the difference, okay? Because it's gonna save you like about $40 on that rod if you guys pick up a rod. So make sure you do get that. The way you get that code, again, it's good for any Mad Max Fishing Club stuff, shirts, gators, rods, anything we're putting out that's MMFC branded, you get 10% off on that, okay? and you get the code by going to the members section of our site, of my page. It should be like videos, playlist, something, and membership area. You're gonna have a section that's gonna tell you all the benefits, including the code. Okay. All right. Man, it's going crazy. Let's go. All right. Shout out Carl. Thanks for re-subscribing to the Mad Max Fishing Clubhouse. Mr. Arnie, thank you so much, sir, for also continuing your membership in the. Oh, Carl, this is Carl's first month. Welcome, Carl. Let's go. All right. Now we're gonna do the movie reviews. Ready?
That's right. So, I like movies. I think Roman likes movies. We usually review. I usually review 80s and 90s movies. That's the movies I like. I love those older movies. Some of these movies are from 80s. Some of these movies are from 90s. Roman, if you guys didn't know, is a huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. So I am going to review my top 3 Jean-Claude Van Damme movies and save yours for the end because I want to see if you agree with mine.
Okay.
I already know what your favorite is, but save this. Okay. Number 3 on my top 3 of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. This is a pretty cool one. Came out in September 16th, 1994. And it's funny, this movie is set in the year 2004, way in the future.
Hold on. Michael Tran just became officially a Mad Max Fishing Clubhouse member. Let's go, Michael. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the club. Enjoy the virtual club amenities, including a bayfront clubhouse with our own private dock, all kinds of parking. You can come in, change into your fishing clothes in our clubhouse gym, launch your kayak off our private dock right into San Diego Bay, and fish, come back, shower if you want to after, so you don't go home smiling like fish, have a drink, stop by the tiki bar. It's all good.
Say hi to Tiki Dave.
Say hi to Tiki Dave at the tiki bar.
Right.
We make Tiki Dave sound like an alcoholic, dude. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Tiki Dave.
He's kayak cowboys, what he is. All right. So it came out 1994, September 16th. This was set in the year 2004, way in the future. But obviously we're past that. None of this actually happened, so unfortunately. But okay, so this movie, basically this movie is about a cop. I'm going to describe it and see if you've seen this before. And he's a cop, and time travel has been invented in the year 2004. And people that invented this figured out that's an easy way to make money. So they would go back and do like heists, or they could go back anytime to pirate era and rob gold.
Yeah.
So they figured out a good way. And then an evil guy, an evil politician, figures out a way, if he uses this, how he could go back and maybe become president, or become the ruler of the world by having this technology. So they come up with an idea that we need somebody to be a time cop.
That's right.
And who else would be better than Jean-Claude Van Damme to go back in time and stop these thieves and stop these politicians from rigging stuff?
Apply justice.
Jean-Claude Van Damme has to go back in time as a time cop to stop these guys. And this is my number 3 movie. I think for the time, the CG, this is 1994. This is before CG was big. But for the time, the special effects of this movie were really killer. It was the first time I saw this. It was kind of weird because Jean-Claude Van Damme was kind of a weird hairdo, and it distracted me for the first 10 minutes of the movie. I'm like, he's got like a mullet. It's got like a Kevin Costner mullet kind of going on, right? Yeah, he's got like a weird hairdo going. We're always used to seeing him a certain way, but I think it's a good movie. It's definitely worth seeing. I'm giving this one 3 out of 5 max. Time Cop. That's a pretty good one. My second one. I know Roman's going to disagree with this. This movie came out April 29th, 1988. It stars a guy called Frank who leaves the army to enter a martial arts tournament. Why not? Why not?
That's the best.
He gets to this martial arts tournament, and there's a couple really bad dudes in the tournament. He befriends some people. The bad dude even kills. I don't want to give any major spoilers, but ends up Jean-Claude Van Damme does pretty well in this tournament. The army sends 2 guys up there, and they're like, "Hey, you can't be fighting this tournament. You got to come back."
Yeah,
and he says, "No, I'm not coming back. I'm going to fight this tournament."
Yeah, it's the whole he's basically AWOL from his service, right? So he's got to.
That's right.
Yeah, so they go get him back.
So to me, this is kind of like watching Mortal Kombat live because the characters are in it, or there's a guy that has a weird style.
All kinds of
has their own kind of
styles.
style. Yep. There's it's like they're cartoon characters basically.
Yeah.
You know, each character has this weird fighting style, and you can't wait when you watch this and you see when it first begins. You're like, oh, I hope he fights him. I want to see how that.
Yeah. So it's like
and you get a lot of that.
Yeah, this is like, mind you guys, this is before like UFC guys, where it's like where they had real tournaments for this kind of stuff. This is kind of like all like what it would be like reimagined.
It's all martial arts. Yeah, and you just when the first time you see it, you dream, okay, I want to see that guy fight that guy, and you won't basically get to see a whole bunch of fights and different styles fighting, and then of course the two best characters at the end fight, and
don't forget to mention the hell of a awesome training montage. Training. It's all about the training with these movies. Training.
It is.
Okay.
You know, it's a build up. It's just like kind of like how Karate Kid did it. You know, you got to learn the foundation and then you build your way up, right? And that movie is Bloodsport.
There it is.
Bloodsport. And if you've ever seen this movie, I hope this comes through. This is the famous. Oh my gosh!
Tilt it down. Tilt it down. There you go.
Can you see that face?
Yes, I can.
This face right here, to me, was the whole movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme gets blinded at one point, and he makes this.
Why are you giving away the plot?
I'm sorry. It's 30 years old. If you haven't seen it, I'm kind of shocked. But this face right here, I remember seeing this movie. I'm like, what is going on there? That face is like, that's what made this movie famous, I think. Do you think that's what made this movie famous?
No, I think it's just awesome. I think it's just an awesome story.
I'm sorry, that's not my number one. Here's my number one Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of all time. This movie came out July 1992. It's a TriStar film. It stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it also stars Dolph Lundgren, who's also a pretty cool dude back in those days. You know, you might know him from the Rocky movie as the big Russian. He stars in this movie. It's a movie about creating the perfect soldier. Kind of
controversial.
They basically, I think they took people that were deceased, right, and they made them into. I don't want to give up too much because people will hopefully go see this one.
People that got killed in action, soldiers that were killed in action.
Let's say that. And they bring them back, and they're able to modify them to become a perfect soldier, and they are supposed to follow their orders to the T.
Yeah.
And they're super soldiers, but guess what happens? Just like on RoboCop, one of these super soldiers starts to have a little memory and starts to remember who he was before he became a super soldier. I don't want to give up too much, but basically there's a good super soldier and there's a bad super soldier, and the bad super soldier says, I'm not going to obey orders either. And then there's a fight, and they're trying to get each other through the whole movie.
Right, and that's Jean-Claude and Dolph Lundgren going at it.
Dolph Lundgren,
with super soldier powers.
And actually, this has, I think, 3 parts to it, too. I have not seen 2 or 3.
I haven't seen 2 or 3.
My favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of all time is Universal Soldier.
Very nice. It's a cool movie. It's a very cool movie.
Yeah. It holds up, too. If you guys watch that, it still holds up. I think all 3 of those are on streaming services right now. So if you actually do watch any of me and Roman's movie reviews. Okay, Roman, what are your top 3 Jean-Claude?
Very cool. So Bloodsport, I love Bloodsport. Also like Kickboxer, right? The training montage, the training session, the training part of Kickboxer is one of the best training. Best training.
My shin hurts thinking about kicking that palm tree, dude. Yeah. I'm holding my shin right now because I'm like, oh. When you see that, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And again, Bloodsport, very quotable. You know, like you break my record, I break you, right? That's like very quotable. A Universal Soldier. The scene where he's like in a diner and he's just eating because he doesn't have any kind of I don't know, I guess feeling of being full, so he just keeps ordering a bunch of food, and the cook comes out of the kitchen. He's like, "You're gonna be able to pay for that?" And then he's like, "I don't want to hurt you. I just want to eat." And then like comedy ensues. But anyway, that's very doable. Like when when we're at the kitchen table with my sister, I'll randomly look over for eating and I'll say like, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to eat. And we just start cracking up. So funny. Like, and then when the food is really good and nobody's talking, like that's the perfect time to use that line.
So we almost have the same 3. I'm a time copper. You're a kickboxer, but Kickboxer would definitely probably make my top 5 too. So With that being said, Roman, thank you again for having me on Wednesday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back next Wednesday with more Bay fishing. Roman. This Saturday, guys, if you're out fishing, I'll be on San Diego Bay out in the morning, late morning till late afternoon. So if you're out there, wave to me. I'll be out there snagging grass and catching bass. I'll see you guys out on the water later.
There, guys. Once again, Brian, thank you so much for helping us do the show today. I appreciate it very much. The time you put in to get all that research done so we can learn about fish memories. Be cool. Again, we talked about this a little bit during the show. Let's do a study, guys. I don't know if I can take on the task on my own, but if enough people are interested in doing it, we can maybe put together a little MMFC committee to do the spotted bay bass research, and if we get it sanctioned by the DFA, was that DFA? No, that's from above. Department of Fish and Wildlife. We'll need to figure out what the restrictions are there, and if we need some kind of permit, and then how to do it the right way. If you guys are interested, let me know. Hit me up in the Discord. Send me a direct message, and yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll be back here on Monday for Fishy Hour, and with Coach Worf in the house, Worf TV, do the fishing report and surface temperature charts, and just basically talk about fishing and see if you guys might have any other questions. That's on Mondays, and then the rods are still available. I just did the totals. There are, I think, 13 or 12 rods left. 13 or 12 rods left. If you decide to get a rod, make sure even if you decide to get a rod, get that $40 off your rod by becoming a Mad Max Fishing Clubhouse member. ! Join. Even if you just join for a month, pay the $4.99 because it's gonna mean you get $35 off your rod. Okay. Anyway, if you have any questions on any of the stuff we talked about today, go to Discord, ask in there. There's also a section called Fishy Hour Questions. Put your questions there. We'll answer those questions live during the show. Once again, I hope you guys enjoy the show, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Okay. Oh, God.